Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to I Allegedly. I've got a good one for you today because there's no more workers' comp claims. They're done, finished, done. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Today we have a sponsored chapter, and I will talk about them in a bit. But let's get right into it. There is an insurance company called Zurich North America that will not insure any job sites anywhere in New York City unless they install a behavioral camera system. What is that? Well, it's run by a company called AeroSite. And what AeroSite does is says behavioral situations in regards to finishing large construction cleanup and job sites. You know, they build the building, then you got to build it out, but you have all these workers' comp claims. Since they've installed these programs, the complaints and the workers' comp lawsuits have dropped well over 90%. They're done. Now, you can sit there and say, well, how does this affect me? Well, you know, here in California, hey, did your boss yell at you? Did he make you come in on time? Did you bite your lip driving into work? You got money coming. We see this on TV all the time. This is done. This is finished, and the games are over with. Just tell them this. We'll send you to the chiropractor. You have soft tissue injuries, and you need money. Done, 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 done. What this is going to do, when one company does this, and they're going to see success where they're not writing checks, they're going to do it with everyone, absolutely everyone. So it doesn't matter if you're in the restaurant industry, manufacturer, an office. You may have to sign off now that, hey, listen, there's a camera that's just watching you, not really recording anything, it's just doing behavioral checks. What it's doing also is that the AeroSite program, which is fascinating, the article is the first one below, it talks about behavior of people. Now, did people disregard safety protocol? Now the companies are going to have a safety protocol class that people are going to have to go through, and it's going to get rid of all of the shenanigans. You know, when you talk to psychiatrists, therapists, things like that, and you get people nowadays, you know what, my mental health isn't good. Why? I've got so much stress from work. Really? Come on. We all have to work. I have to work. I worked till 1:30 last night. You know, it doesn't matter, guys. It is on all of us. And the stress that you're the only one that has, you're kidding yourself. But what's going to stop is the ridiculous fake claims with workers' comp. It is over with. It is done. You will never see these lawsuits again. That is the end of it. It's happening, you know, in New York City. It's going to happen at the biggest markets. It's going to happen globally. Watch, 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 watch. Now, when you throw AI into this, again, it's going to assess that you're lazy. John, in the overalls, is lazy. How about this? How about a number on an overall so that they can pinpoint that, hey, yeah, that is John. It's number 16, almost like you're a prisoner when you go to work. Mark my words, guys, this is the beginning of this. This is the beginning of this. My son last night called me and said, I have a problem and I want to talk to you about it. And I'm like, uh-oh, what is that? Well, something's happened at work and I don't understand it, and maybe you can help me. You know, he works at this high-end steakhouse in the Boston area, which I'm not going to mention the name because they're finished. When you hear the story, you're going to understand why. Dad, over the course of the last week, there's no wine. We are having all the popular wines, bottles of wine, and we're out of it. The bottles of booze. Hey, I'd like a whiskey, this type. I'd like a martini made with this. And then when you go back, they're out of it. Okay, well, you know, our shipment's coming in. It's due in any day. Okay, great, great, great. Last night, he had a situation where people wanted a bottle of wine. He came back to the table four times and said, I'm sorry, we're out of that. I'm sorry, we're out of this. And choice menu items are done. Finished. Oh, yeah, we don't have the New York strip right now. The tomahawk, yeah, it's beautiful. I know you've had it before. I've served you before. It's unavailable right now. Okay? Over and over and over again. Main items and this. And then the topper, he's like, Dad, I think they're going out of business. I really do. So I start searching and things like this, anything we could find out, and nothing online yet. But the topper was one of his coworkers had a check for $80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80 that bounced. Uh-oh. And I said, son, this is it. You're done. You're finished with this company. Now, this is different than California because he's in Massachusetts. And California, employees have all these different rights. Like I talked about with the workers' comp, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm just feeling, I'm feeling bad today. Well, if you didn't work for yourself, Dan, you could go out and do something about that and sue yourself. Come on, it gets ridiculous. But with the check bouncing, I just said, listen, this place is done. You need to prepare yourself for this. Now, he's going away this weekend to the World Baseball Classic with his friends, and he comes back and he has, another place he works at that's very high end, that is here in California, there, and all over the place. And he said, all I've got to do is just make it through Friday, and hopefully they stay in business through Friday, and I will get my tips and take my cash with me, and I will go on my trip. I explained to him that when you come back after next week, you're most likely going to come back to a business that's shuttered. And he's seen this before. He saw a claim jumper in Arizona when he lived there and worked there, and he quit 1 week, and they treated him horribly because he was going to college, and there was nothing going on with these people. So he went to college in Rhode Island, and the following Friday, the place was closed. He had another place in the Boston area that he worked at, and he just had a vibe that they were not doing well. And sure enough, they were finished, okay, 2 weeks after he left there. So maybe my son's the killer. Maybe he just kills all these restaurants. We should blame him. Yeah, so this high-end steakhouse is going down, but if you are living in a place like this and you hear story time, everybody thinks that they are the first person to invent the story of why they can't pay bills, why your check's going to bounce, and oh, I'm sorry, but it's not. It is something you need to pay attention to, and they are done. Remember that, okay? So the workers' comp thing, this is going to come to a city near you. You're going to work under Big Brother. You're going to see that. There's still a lot more to cover in this video. Let's talk about our sponsor, Chapter. Here's something that really doesn't make the headlines, and that is Medicare. People that have it think that, oh, this is the coverage I'm supposed to have. Everything's fine. Well, think about this. Doctors move, prescription plans change, and you end up with subpar coverage. Not because you didn't do something right, but because this is very complex. And that's where Chapter comes in. If you are about to turn 65 or you're already on Medicare, you need to compare the coverage that you have. And what Chapter does is it compares all the different programs from across the country. It's absolutely free to do this. And if you contact Chapter today, they can show you how they can most likely save you money. People that go with Chapter save $1,100 a year on their expenses, and it gets them better coverage. Contact Chapter today, use the link below, or call them 903-653-4082. Let them compare all the plans. Let them make sure that you have everything right. Once again, it takes about 20 minutes to do this, but it's a free service. Check out Chapter today. Audio. Now, a few things in the news. Oh, you never give us good news. Sure, there's great news. Mike's Red Tacos started as a taco truck and opened up 2 locations, physical locations that are absolute hits. They have gotten financing and funding to expand to 200 locations. Will that happen? We will see. But the birria tacos, these are basically cooked. They're dipped, they're delicious, and you see them with a lot of street vendors sell this, but to sit down in a restaurant to have some birria would be nice. So check that out. And there's a lot of stuff. Oh, Buc-ee's. When I was in Texas 5 years ago, I got to go to Buc-ee's for the first time. What an absolute pleasure. I bought gifts for people. I bought different seasonings. I bought a mini barbecue that we drove home. It's great. I still use it. I got this little tiny smoker that literally is about 18 inches wide. It's so cool. And I got that at Buc-ee's. But Buc-ee's is expanding to 7 states. And of course, it's through the south towards Florida, nothing in California. The closest one's going to be in Arizona, which I cannot wait to try when that opens. So for those of you that know what Buc-ee's is, it's got food, shopping, basically 100 plus gas pumps. It is unbelievable, and it's just clean, and it is fantastic, and they have a store inside of it, and it is unbelievable. The luxury movie theater, iPic, done, down for the count, filed for bankruptcy. What a luxury movie theater is not only do you have, comfortable seats that you can tilt back, but you have a table in front of the two of you, and you get table service. And you can order dinner, you can have a bottle of wine, you can hang out, and you can watch your movie in complete luxury. They're down for the count. Here, there's a movie theater called The Port in Newport Beach, where I had my party for $250K, and we rented that place, and they're done as far as movies are being shown. And you can rent the place for a private event, but other than that, running it for a theater is completely finished. Audio. Let's finish this video with these last few things. Don't forget the private channel, I Allegedly Live. You sign up at iallegedly.tv. It's all the uncensored stuff that I love doing for you. It's things that are just too hot for other places. Check that out. Few stories to finish this video. Mom Donnie in New York, he wants to have free childcare, 2K. So 2 years old on up. So they set up a pilot program. And basically, they've got almost $70 million set aside for this. And what they're going to spend, think about this number that I'm going to give you, $36,000 on each child to give them daycare. You could go to private school, the most luxurious private daycare in New York City for $16,000 a year, and he's going to spend twice as much. It's not going to be twice as good of a service. I'm talking about the ghetto. I'm talking about downtown. I'm talking about the rundown part of town, just so parents can get a break. But they're going to fleece the system, and they're going to spend too much money on this. That's going to happen. So isn't that crazy? It's nuts, guys. It's absolutely nuts. Now, the entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well. There is a Vermont crossing guard that volunteered, a successful person that volunteered part-time for 50 minutes a day, 50 minutes, 5-0, and gets the kids to and from school safely across the street. Well, she noticed something. She noticed that people wanted news, and she started asking questions. So she started a newsletter with, think about this, different information about the city, the town, and everything for $8 a month. And all of a sudden, she had 1,000 people. Then it grew to 3,600 people signed up for this thing. And she shares local news, tidbits, and everything. So again, guys, from being a crossing guard to making 11G a month, $11,000 a month with a newsletter, you can do that. You can. What do you know about? What information do you have that would benefit the community? And like I do every day, it seems like, is that I finish with a Dr. Marvin story. And Dr. Marvin comes from Florida. And Dr. Marvin really is a great contributor. But he brought something up, and that is, if you have a pet, those people generally live longer. So people with pets generally live longer. And I agree with that. I'm telling you, when my girlfriend Lisa died and Rosie became my responsibility full time, it has been an absolute joy and a pleasure, and an absolute treat to have this dog in my life. She is the best thing ever, and a day does not go by that we don't take our multiple walks and spend time together. And my girlfriend has a cat, and Mr. Higgins was a cat. She had a cat named Mr. Bruce, and Mr. Bruce unfortunately had to, passed away, and she went a few months without a cat, but she always check the cat registry, and Mr. Higgins was going to be put down in a matter of hours, and she contacted them, and she rescued Mr. Higgins. And Mr. Higgins is a great cat. He was bloated and fat, and the woman that he was, that took care of him originally had passed away, so he had no home. But that's a good thing. Now, again, I want to remind you guys of a story that's just wild. During COVID, the shelters, this is the house that always has the F1 car right there. I'm at Balboa. I'm at the end, the tip of Balboa Island on the south side. Anyways, during COVID, the shelters here in Southern California would only take dogs. Can't take the cats, can't take the cats. And my girlfriend Amber, who's a very successful businesswoman, who I'm telling you, if I, on my next business, Amber's going to do the books for me. We have an agreement, and she is fantastic, and she's going to be the CFO of my next company. Anyways, Amber heard about this and was appalled because she loves cats, and they started a charity, Smitten with the Kittens, and they take in cats. This week, she has 2 cats that were abandoned, both giving birth, so she's got to deal with that at her house, and she's getting them placed right now. And then a woman walked into PetSmart and abandoned 3 kittens, which I think there's a place in hell for people that, this is work. It's not easy. I have to feed them. They're just so demanding. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're part of the family, and you're a horrible person. So this woman abandoned 3 cats at PetSmart. So share your thoughts on that one. You'll live longer if you get a pet. Yeah. Like, subscribe, make good choices. You want to email me, it's hello@iallegedly.com. I will see you very soon.